What's good, my guy?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Appreciate you taking the time out to talk with me. This is the Make It Plays combo. So I always like to ask, how are you and your people doing?
Me and my people are doing great. I'm here in LA. It started off kind of gloomy, but I was up at 6 a.m. So I kind of saw the day start from cold, bright, all that. Met up with some friends, got some yoga in, did some really good breathing exercises today. Just organizing my life and doing this interview. I'm really great.
Yeah.
Everybody's healthy, so thank you.
So look, if Make It Plays was a picture, you would probably be it. All the different plays you've been doing throughout your life. I mean, acting, singing, writing, dancing. Hell, you was in the Hannah Montana movie.
Right.
Like, but obviously 2020 has been a wild year. It's been kind of a roller coaster. What were you working on though before things kind of got crazy and shut down?
So before things got crazy, I was coming off of my debut EP, which was titled Familiar Strangers, which dropped in November.
Yep.
So kind of just pushing that, letting it ride out. I know I dropped a couple videos leading up to it. So I had that, out of my fans have been waiting a long time for just, a solid body of work. So I know that was just an exciting time for me, and I'm still letting it ride out right now. I dropped 2 singles since this year, but let that happen. I was also waiting for the Netflix show that I'm on to come out, officially out now. So that was one of the things that were in the works. And I'm trying to think. I mean, I'm always working on new music, but a lot of that people have seen this year. I dropped the song called My Way, We Can Party. Like the Netflix show. Also did the Grammys, Nipsey Hussle's Grammy tribute. I was a part of that at the beginning of the year as well. And then kind of slightly after that, everything kind of shut down. But still, I'm just blessed that I had some stuff, in my bank so that I could still roll out some things even when quarantine hit.
So have you been adjusting? What a typical day look like now? I mean, you talked about what you did earlier, but like day to day.
Typical day to day, I'll say this. It's made it slightly easier to do the things that I've been doing even prior to quarantine. Because things aren't open, it's a little easier, stay home and eat, even just do that. I'll be able to create some more music while being here and things like that. I haven't really adjusted too much. I've really just done what I've always tried to do a little bit better. I think that's how I've kind of approached this whole thing. I think, of course, we've all changed and, changed our trajectory a little bit based on, how we have to move. But I really just been trying to, instead of overbearing myself, new time, new thoughts, new this, is like, nah, let me just work with the ones that I've had, because I think I'm on a good track, and I'm not going to let, what's going on globally still mess with my personal process. So.
Makes sense, man. I want to start back in the beginning. You've been performing since you were basically, like 10 years old, but I saw somewhere you knew you wanted to go into entertainment at the age of 7.
Mm-hmm.
What was it about entertainment that attracted you so much to the industry?
Yeah, I mean, how I got started with and even thought of that was You Got Served when I was like, I think it was like 4.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Nah, You Got Served was literally the beginning of any thought of any type of movement, anything, artistic kind of in that way.
Yeah.
And it was a big surprise. I was actually living in Mississippi back in 2004, between 2004 and 2006. And 2 of the dancers and choreographers, Chuck Maldonado, which did all the step ups, people don't know, look up Chuck Maldonado, and Harry Shum Jr. And they were in the movie, and it was a great moment for me, and something that definitely stuck with me, and I think was necessary for me, being in Mississippi and freaking Jackson, Mississippi, not a big town, to not even know I was gonna dance, and then 2 of the dancers from there come to our little studio. It means more to me now, being that I'm in LA and hearing them talk about the Ralph's grocery stores and hearing things like that I would have never been accustomed to. So that's how I kind of got started, and I think it was just I was pushing myself to the best height that I can go, and I also I'm very aware of when I do something how it makes other people feel, and I like to be inspiring, and I like to be humble in the fact that I literally do what I do for more than just myself. So I think that I realized that being young, and people enjoyed it maybe even at times more than it seemed that I did, So
what came first then? So from what it sounds like, dancing came first, and then when did acting and singing start coming into the picture?
Yeah, acting and singing came into the picture more when I got into Los Angeles. When I was younger, dance was the main thing. Shout out to Marty Kudelka, who's an OG choreographer, Justin Timberlake's choreographer. I kind of came out here at a very young age, and he kind of took me under his wing and Really wasn't a thing that kids were dancing at the Millenniums and the studios that you see online now. We weren't even really filming videos like that to start out with.
Right.
But to be out here and train under them really got me into the industry, into the people that I knew. And then music came by through an audition for a boy band called I Am Five. I see a fan commenting right now. But I Am Five, it was a boy band that I was a part of, put together by Fuller and Jamie King and Perez Hilton. And it was a big nationwide audition. And that's how I got into music. It was slightly more, I could say, more of a job at first when I did go into it. I've just been very ambitious as a kid. I was 14 going into the audition and didn't even have a plan on singing, really. It wasn't something I grew up wanting to do, or, I didn't grow up in the church choir. I grew up in church, but I didn't grow up in the choir. And I didn't
Right.
It's always been around me, but just something that I didn't tap into. But through that experience and, kind of being brought on as the dancer, I've really surprised myself. And I feel like everybody just kind of watched my career, a job turn into an actual passion that I have no choice but doing now, because that is what I'm supposed to be doing. So that's how that got into there. And then the acting is it's always kind of just like whispered in my ear. I'll get auditions for this. I've done some short films prior and things like that, but my big break in acting came last year. It was in American Soul on BET.
Right.
I played Fresh on season 1, and that was a really great opportunity for me. Got to film in Atlanta for 2 to 3 months.
Hey.
Yeah, no, you're in Atlanta?
I'm in Atlanta, yes, absolutely.
I was just down there a couple weeks ago. I'm gonna have to chop it up, let you know when I'm down there.
Absolutely, please do, man.
Yeah, but yeah, doing that, and that kind of got me, on TV every week. Big set. I got lines. It's something that I'm always comfortable in uncomfortable situations, and when I'm in uncomfortable situations, I know that I'm moving forward. And that was situations for me where I was like, okay, like, even though I got this job and they trusted me, I gotta trust in myself as much as those producers and those casting directors trusted me at that moment. And it was a great learning experience. And from there, I shortly booked the Netflix show Never Have I Ever. Started filming probably about 6 to 8 months after that. And acting has just been a great avenue for me that I like I said, with anything I've done, I think I've gotten good response because I haven't been too thirsty for it, if that makes sense. I'm definitely hungry and want these opportunities. I'm looking for them, going for them, but I'm not desperate for these these roles.
It came in the flow of things.
Yeah.
What it sounds like. That's dope, bro. Let's talk about the music you've been putting out. You mentioned it earlier. Weekend Party came in May, nice mid-tempo, spring, summertime type vibe. And then May We Back in April. That's that baby making flow music.
Yeah.
What's your creative process when it comes to making a song? Do you usually have a song or a concept in your head and then you look for a beat to match, or do you listen to a beat and then make the song off of that? Like what kind of zone do you get into when you're creating a track or song?
Yeah, definitely a question that everybody's probably gonna have a slightly different answer to.
Right.
For me, I like to think of the track and the song almost as one. I do write all my stuff. I've executive produced my last EP as well. So like, I feel like just for the type of music that I want to do, I want it to be a reflection of the experiences I've been and the things that I'm picking up. So I think they come kind of simultaneously. I try to let the lyrical content and the message come with the chords that are being played, or the track that's being started. I definitely come into the room sometimes with a certain mood or certain feel, but honestly, it usually ends up changing. I feel like I don't like to, set an agenda for the room. It's kind of like you want to leave yourself open to the opportunity for anything happening. And you never know when you're going to record that one song that might just be number one next week, or you don't know, then the one you feel like might be that one might be the song that doesn't get played at all. So I think it's just for me and my creative process, I've found it to almost a freestyle in a way. When I do stuff like lyrics, it's not, I can't just freestyle and just rap or do anything like that, but there is a definite level of trusting in the room, and that's why it's important who's in the room with you as well, so that you can feel like you can relax and trust that they are also going to have the same type of integrity for the song that you do, and I just need to chill or do this, and I ain't got to be on top of it and make sure it's you're putting this there and doing this. So just in moment. I accumulate so many experiences in my life and concepts and ideas and things like that. I would say this thing: know you know and forget you knew it. So I know that I know everything that I've taken in, and I'm not going to try to access it. It's going to come out. So I just try to do it like that.
I like that, man. I like that. So yeah, you mentioned your last EP, which dropped in the fall, The League of Strangers. I actually like Cupid, by the way, and On the Side. Those
Thank
are the standout tracks for me. So are you going to put out another project this year, or are you just going to continue to release singles?
So I am working on my next project right now. I think I actually was going to drop one more single. I actually just had a talk with my team yesterday and the day before. I think I'm just going to go ahead and go straight project, even just where my headspace is and just where the world is at. Even for me as a music listener, it's very hard for me to dive into a single right now. It's just, even if it doesn't have to be so message driven, but just for our attention spans are already bad, but we're paying stuff that matters nowadays, though.
Right.
That we are paying attention to. So if it isn't a song that really does have, especially right now, if you're gonna drop a song right now, you gotta be careful. And not necessarily, you just not even careful with how you do it. If you want the numbers, just be careful about how you want to feel about it, because you might not get the certain response that you want. If you think it's just good for your people and whatever at the time, do it. But don't, I think putting out a song right now to try to reach the masses is the wrong intention, and that's what I'm not trying to do. So I took a step back. I'm not going to drop that single, but this I think it's going to be another EP. If so, it'll be a small LP, but it's actually already almost done, and I didn't even realize that it was almost done. My manager was like, yo, he was like, yo, like, I think we got like the EP done. And I was like, I thought we were doing an album. He was like, nah, we should just do another EP. That's what we talked about. And I was like, oh, I was like, it's almost done. Like, I just got everything recorded and mixed. So yeah, definitely dropping another project this year. People can definitely expect that. A lot of things on the horizon that I can't even say that are like, I'm trying to keep quiet. It's in the idea phase, but I just feel so good about where I'm at and where my mental has been, that I just know that there's a lot coming with this new music, and I'm definitely striving to do something beyond for myself, that it maybe reaches a couple people, but I'm just trying to really do something that feeds me right now.
Makes sense, man. Well, we definitely look forward to your next project.
Thank you.
I gotta ask you, man, you've danced with damn near everybody. I mean, Chris the Pussycat Dolls, Cardi B on Offset, Kanye West, the Jabbawockeez,
right?
The list goes on. What was your most memorable dance experience?
Wow, that's hard. Most memorable dance experience. I will say the Jabbawockeez was probably up there, because especially at that time, they just came off of ABDC, the first winners. Dance was before even social media. This is like the first resurgence of dance on a mass level on national TV and things like that. And I was doing a job. It was called Macy's Passport. I don't believe that they do it anymore, but Macy's, the clothing store, they did a traveling fashion show basically for 2 or 3 months, where they would make a base in San Francisco, and then I forget where else we went and did one. I think it was LA, but they did multiple ones. But we got to do that show with the Jabbawockeez, and just to be around them I think I was 10 years old, and to just to see them without their masks on, and then be teaching us things, and just explain the way that they do it, and just it's like if I was in the room right now with freaking Stevie Wonder, what I'm saying? At that time, that's what it was. It was like, oh my God, like I'm doing a job with them. I'm controlling them. Like, oh my God, that's crazy, So I think that, moving fast forward though, Kanye Coachella experience, I think just because it was based around God, and I am a believer, and just to be a part of that movement, even in that moment, being in front of 60,000 people, and Sunday Service has been building up to that Coachella performance for so long. To get called on by Fatima to do that was just it's like a dream I didn't have come true. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was one of those moments. I was sitting in my car in some jeans, like leaving an audition, and she called me. She's like, I need you to be at center stage in 30 minutes. And I was like, what's going on? Dropping a record off the EP called Sweet Tea, like the next day. And I was like, yo, I got to be in LA. I got to depress for it. I got to do this. And then it was like, what? They're like, yo, it's Kanye. Like, I need you to come. And I was like, I gotta go. Like, you gotta go.
Gotta go.
Even beyond for Kanye, I love Kanye, but just Fatima, if you guys don't know, Fatima Robinson, just creative director, just guru, goddess, all of them, from Remember the Time to TLC to Biggie to like any iconic movement or type of performance, she's probably had her hands in it. And I don't take that relationship lightly at all, because she can call whoever she wants at the drop of a dime. You know, still works with the O's, the G's in the game. You know, so she only does the biggest job. She also called me for the Nipsey tribute, so I got a big shout out to her for that too, because it just seems like she's done it unintentionally. She just positioned in the right places to do the most, you know, I feel like meaningful performances, and she chooses people that she wants to be around to do those jobs, because it's not about the job. The moves we're doing are fairly simple. We're doing some praise and worship dancing, but if your spirit ain't right, you know, she not gonna work with you because it don't look right. You know.
That's right.
But yeah, those three, those could really break it down. Yeah.
Man, that's what's up right there. Well, I'm gonna wrap it up on this, bro. 2020 obviously has been a challenging year. It's been a roller coaster year, but it's also been a year of self-reflection, because we've had to kind of slow down and get out of our everyday routine. And, you know, you're a fellow believer, actually be able to hear God more clearly. So is there anything that you kind of realized about yourself or just life in general?
I think the biggest thing that I've gotten to kind of reflect on is the power that, like, we all really do have within ourselves. I feel like when you go through a moment like this, you know, we're especially out in LA, Atlanta, you know, these mecca cities, you're busting your tail, you're working so hard, and you're knowing you're working so hard, but there's still a level of like, it's in fate's hands. If it's gonna work, it's gonna work. If it's not, it's not. You know what I'm saying? But in a moment like this, when you feel like everything is working, it almost is like, oh, well, is fate right? No, there's, you know what I'm saying? It still is correct, but I've learned to not rely on my calling so much. You know what I'm saying? Even though I think I'm working as hard as I can, I'm learning that I can work harder now, you know, in a different area, just in a different way that I'm using my mind, and just, you know, taking even more accountability for myself, even at a time where we don't have to take accountability right now. We're getting unemployment, we're doing this, we don't have to take accountability for anything that's going on, but I'm just trying to do a lot more of that now, because I think it's gonna, you know, just start me at level 3 when everything's back at level 0. You know what I'm saying? So, and who knows how many levels there are, but I'll start at 1. You know what I'm saying? It don't really matter. So that would be the biggest thing.
That's real, man. Wow, I've appreciated this conversation, man. Like, enjoy chopping it up with you. Once things open up and we're able to move around safely, you get back to Atlanta, come through to our ATL office and chop it up in person. But much success to you, my brother.
Hey, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Thank you to you, to Pandora, fans on here, and I appreciate this, man. Thank you.
No doubt, man. Be safe.
Peace.